What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about SPY, Tesla, the QQQ, and many tickers out there. I'm going to break down what just happened with the Senate and what the data is telling us, and how the market's responding so far. Before I break anything down about all this information, though, before I get into any details, let me just mention a couple of things real quick. Firstly, I am not a financial planner. Take none of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 10 free stocks, and it could be worth up to $2,000. Now, anyways, let's talk about the markets. What on earth is going on? The market is pumping in the pre-market, showing some relative strength right now, but we have to look at particular levels to get confirmation of even more bullish moves. But for now, the momentum is favoring the bulls, but I want to go over both the bullish and bearish cases and break down what's a lot more likely. To start us off, the news came out yesterday night that the Senate has approved the debt ceiling raise, and this in turn is great news for the market, at least to some extent, because the market's getting a positive reaction because of this, and we are avoiding a default. Now, for now, what basically happened was McCarthy and Biden came up with the agreement. It passed the House on Wednesday. On Thursday night, it passed the Senate, and now Biden has to sign it. I don't know if he signed it just yet, but it's basically a done deal. He's going to sign it. He and McCarthy agreed on this in the beginning, and there's no choice at this point. The news is going to come out that Biden signed it. It's either about to come out or it already did. I didn't really see it on the news yet, but like I said before, the market's getting a very positive reaction to this. Now, let me remind you guys that today is Friday, June 2nd. We have just around 500,000 or a little bit under that calls expiring. And we have 1.3 plus million puts expiring with a 2.8 put to call ratio. Market makers are going to be very happy to either hold the market around these levels, in my opinion. As long as we're above like 420, they're going to be fine, or even above like 416, but I doubt they're going to let it go that low, or they're going to pump this thing even harder. They're going to cause another short squeeze. Both of those are very possible. I am leaning in the direction of a short squeeze, though, looking at the current price action. The unemployment data came out. 3.7% was the unemployment, showing some signs of weakness in the jobs markets, and non-farm payrolls also went up. However, the labor force participation rate was about the same, a little bit higher than what the forecast was, though. And despite all of this, despite the higher unemployment rate, we still saw this 339,000. Let me close that. 339,000 jobs added in May. So what does this mean? Basically, the soft landing narrative by Jerome Powell is still getting fueled by this news, right? The market is now believing that there's going to be some kind of soft or decent landing. Inflation is just, out of the way, and the jobs being added to the economy are showing lots of strength, and the market's liking it because the market is starting to think that maybe we're not going to get a big spike in unemployment. Maybe the recession or is not going to be that bad, right? Maybe it's going to be a very, very mild, and things are going to be fine. All these bank failures are just not too bad, as the Fed speakers are saying that the banks are stable, and the market's liking all of this. The market's happy. It's exciting. It's excited. It's celebrating. And for now, the market's holding up quite nicely. But I want to just warn you guys about something else a little bit later. So once again, 339,000 jobs despite a 3.7% unemployment. For now, the market's liking this. It's still holding up quite nicely. It didn't really tank. And we're still continuing to pump as I speak. So here are the levels to watch for, okay? Yes, the market's very strange because now every dollar is acting as resistance. So 424, we have some resistance here. We are starting to break above it. We need to break 424.68. If it breaks this, watch 425 to 426. This entire zone is going to have quite a bit of resistance. At least historically, that's what happened. And this is going to be very important because if we manage to hold and break 426, we are going to fly to 427.5, then potentially 430. And SPY could make its way all the way up to 430 if we get a very, very clean break. For now, the market's still pumping. It's still looking very strong about 30 minutes before open. And if you're bearish on the markets, okay, let's just say, we have to go over the bearish possibility, even though it's looking less likely. You have to watch 424 as support now. If that fails us, we're going to be watching 422.99. And if that fails us, basically we have this gap down to 422. And if that fails us, 421.5, which is where the 50 EMA is on the 30-minute time frame. You could always use the hourly time frame too for support because, as you could tell, we consistently hold the 200 as support, and then the 50 as support too. So then 420 comes next, basically 420.4, and then after that 417. For now, I'm not leaning the bearish direction. We also have this gap all the way down to like 422. So that's really the only thing I could say for the bears. But like I said before, if you look at the hourly looks bullish. 4-hour time frame is looking bullish too. 30-minute time frame as of right now is looking a little bit more choppy. That's because the market already gapped up very early. It's been just like trading sideways for a couple of hours. But overall, I mean, we're now at 424.5. We're starting to pump as we're getting closer to open. We're going to be fighting some resistance at 425 to 426. There's still opportunity to play this. If it breaks 426, it's most likely going to get very close to like 430 at that point. I mean, that's going to be the next major level of resistance. Some resistance is going to exist at 427.5, but for now, it's looking pretty good. All right, so watch those levels carefully. Odds are favoring the bulls. Now I'm just going to quickly go over everything else just to be brief and just to get as much information out there. For Tesla, if we're bullish on Tesla, okay, here are some of the levels you have to watch for. Let me bring back my drawings. I don't know what happened to them. Anyways, for Tesla, if it breaks and holds, it has to hold above 210. 210 is what it has to hold, okay? For now, Tesla's holding above it. If it breaks this, there's a little resistance at 211, not too significant. There's going to be more significant resistance at 212.5. And if it breaks that, there's 214. If it breaks that, the 216.6 to about 217.8 zone is going to have some very heavy resistance. This zone right here is where Tesla could be testing if it breaks 214. Okay, this is going to be very heavy. If Tesla manages to break 217.83, it's going to go flying into the 220s. Okay, so be ready for that. That's going to be significant. For now, Tesla's currently at around 210 right now, trying to hold it. We need to hold this. We need some confirmation of Tesla holding 210. If it holds it, there's going to be a good move all the way up here to at least 212.5, if not getting closer to 214 plus. Now, if you're bearish on the markets, I mean, Tesla breaking below 209 would be a bearish signal, and then we could see 208.5, 207, 206.38, which is where the 50 is, and then even lower levels like 204 to 205. I'm not leaning that direction. I mean, this trend looks more bullish. We're just making higher highs and higher lows. And I'm leaning more bullish given this price action. It's likely going to make its way into the 210s, getting closer to possibly 220. All right, for the QQQ, this is not looking as strong as SPY and Tesla. On the hourly, still looks pretty good. It is losing some momentum though, so we may get a slow open. The market may just have not the strongest of opens, maybe just trade a little sideways in the beginning, and then it might just try to continue pushing later on. It is a Friday, and typically we start to see the market squeeze. Now for the QQQ, it might be a little bit weaker though than Tesla and SPY when opening. It's losing some momentum for now on the hourly. On the 30-minute time frame, it's also a little bit choppy. It is cooling off just a tiny bit in the pre-market. But on the 4-hour time frame, it's still looking pretty bullish. So it's very mixed, but on the bigger trend, it looks more strong. On the smaller trends, it's looking a little choppy for now. Open may be a little bit weak. We may just see some sideways price action once we open. I'm going to look at the 15-minute, but it has to break above 354. If it breaks and holds 354, it has the potential to make its way up to 355.5. We need more confirmation on the QQQ. Break 355 and we could get closer to 358 than 360. If we're bearish, you're going to be watching supports around, I think, the hourly 50 EMA. That's going to be the major support at 350. If that fails us, there's the 346.66, then 345. I'm leaning more bullish though, given this trend. NEO is up pretty big in the pre-market. It's up 4%. It's almost at $8. I was leaning bullish on NEO. What else is there? Coinbase, looking pretty good. It's currently at 65. We're going to be watching 66.38, 66.34, sorry, as resistance. Break that, and we're going to make our way closer to 68 and potentially 70. It might cool off a little in the morning. It's looking kind of choppy right here, though. Might cool off in the morning first. As soon as market opens, then just try to continue going. If the market keeps pumping, Apple's holding very nicely above 180, looking strong so far. Momentum is slowing down a bit, so it could slow down into open just a bit, but then there's no confirmation of it dropping hard because it's holding above 180. If it holds 180, it has the potential to go all the way up to 182.5 to 185 potentially. Still looking strong, okay? There's no major sign of weakness. If 180 fails, let's watch 178.62, followed by 177.5 and then 176.41. I'm leaning a little bit more bullish on this. I mean, it's just continuing to hold, but always be open-minded. I'm leaning more bullish. We just need to hold 180. If it holds it very nicely this entire time, it's going to keep going. Looks good, looks strong. Nvidia is currently just barely fighting for 400. If it breaks 400, watch 405, watch 409, and then after that we have 412.5, followed by about 420. For Nvidia, losing some momentum right now, might cool off into open. May not get the strongest open, may just like cool off just a tiny bit and retest the 390s, very high 390s to mid 390s before making a move. If you're bearish on it, you have to watch 392, especially that's where the 50 is, and many other supports after that I mentioned yesterday. But for now, it's looking pretty good on like the bigger trend. The bigger trend is still looking good, so just be careful with that. Still looks quite nice. All right, guys, that's how I'm going to end this video. Get ready for the market to move. Watch for confirmation. Watch your support and resistance levels, and get ready for some massive price action. The market seems to be very happy about what the Senate just did, and the odds are favoring the bulls big time, right? That's what the bigger trends are telling us. But I'm always going to be open-minded, right? I always talk about confirmation. It's very important to look at that nonetheless. All right, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Get ready for the pre-market, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Market to the moon, and peace out.